Welcome to Talk Tech Africa. My name is Femi Greater Heights, and welcome to the bright side of life. Welcome to exciting opportunities. Welcome to the spirit that cannot be conquered, you born to. Welcome to Africa. Welcome to Lagos, Nairobi, Kenya, Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, as the case may be, Morocco, Ghana, South Africa, everywhere across Africa, vibrating at the speed of light. Now, the pace may be different, but Africa is in the spotlights. Now, in the face of all of the stuff happening, in the world right now, and it's looking like World War III, there's something going on around the world, and every country is protecting itself. In the war between Israel, the United States, and Iran, Russia versus Ukraine, and also the wars that go on within countries. Like if you check, Nigeria, the northern hemisphere of Nigeria, the war within itself, and you check the other areas and the other countries in Africa, some of these wars are not external. These wars are internal. But I'm going to talk about something that is more external, affecting things that are internal, and it concerns me a lot. It is interesting that we consume technology. We consume Microsoft, Google. We have all of this technology, even down to automobile, down to educational related contents, etc., etc. And if you check the past 2 weeks, the wave of cyber attacks has increased. If you are looking at where this attack is coming from, you're hearing a hacker group coming from one of these countries. You're seeing probably a fanatic group somewhere. And these attacks are reprisal attacks. So in the case of, the United States, gave a warning to its citizen that, there's going to be a reprisal attack from Iran. And these reprisal attacks have come from, attacks on infrastructure, attacks on US-owned companies, attack on data, privacy, everything in between. We are not part of this war, Africa. But guess what? We are in the war indirectly. So I'm not talking about, crude oil, the price of crude oil in the market right now. Yes, that is one aspect to look at, knowing fully well that the global trade has been disrupted. Is it Africa's fault? No. But what is Africa doing to position itself to not be that person that eats from the crumbs that fall from the table? We are not there to make decisions. Our voices are not heard when these sort of wars are about to, to start. Not really that, a lot of people will say, okay, does Africa even have a voice, where Europe could not even have a voice against, United States? But this is where I'm going to. You see, cyber attacks are on the rise. And if Iran or any of this country is attacking the other, I can't win you on foot, right? I might not win you in the air, but I have other areas to win you. That is the modern warfare that is called cyber attack, where malicious actors are able to cripple your infrastructure. So check what happened in the past 1 week or so. You are seeing an attack on Striker. You are seeing data exfiltration on Striker up to 50 terabytes of data, and an entire clean sweep using Intune of its Microsoft services. It crippled an organization that has equipment out there worth $23 billion. It crippled their entire operation for about 48 hours. Telos was talking about a 1 petabyte of data being exfiltrated from their network. these guys are not necessarily in Africa per se. They don't have headquarters in Africa. But why are these alerts alarming to me? It is because if Iran is fighting technologies built by the US, Africa consumes a lot of these technologies. And it's funny how we are so quiet and how we are so reserved about these things. No governance around them. So you're saying that a company is attacked in the US, you are happy. But what about the companies in Africa consuming those technologies, from Microsoft to Vim to Cisco devices to Fortinet devices? I'm mentioning network equipment now, to medical devices to financial, software. Are we going to get to a place where we define and make our own products, sell our own solutions, ingest our own data, govern our own data, train our own AI? Are we going to get to that future? How fast can we get to that future in the light of all of these things happening? Countries that are going to war have some redundancy somewhere. At least you won't go to war without having some clues as to what will be to your benefit. But when these wars are being fought, what is the benefit to Africa? What is the benefit to Africa? What do we derive from this? And this is my call to African developers, founders, innovators, startups. We need to do more. And the government needs to build infrastructure. I'm glad that, data centers are coming up, springing around Africa. And, these data centers will have a component of artificial intelligence inside of it. These are interesting. But can we push for more consumption? When you look at China, China says, at one time it's moving away from Microsoft and consuming its own applications. I know of a country, forgotten the country, that says they were moving away from Microsoft Teams and consuming their own video conferencing solution that is built within that country. So, should this not be the reality of Africa, where there is even something uniform? Even if we are consuming Google, should Google not have a full presence? When I mean full presence in Africa, data centers across Africa, Microsoft data centers across Africa, not just South Africa. That is what I believe the African Union should be pushing towards. That is what I believe the African governments, the respective nations, the presidents should be pushing towards. How do we unify Africa in the face of global disaster? And trust me, this is a global disaster. We are being roped into wars. Even countries, let's not even say Africa. We're talking about other countries of the world that are not sending troops to the war, but yet they are greatly impacted. Look at the Strait of, I think, Hormuz in Iran. I hope I got that word right. I'm always mixing that word. Where the fifth of the world's oil passes through. And all of these things happen. Somebody said something, and it was an interesting conversation, and he said, everybody's pushing for oil. Isn't this why countries were pushing for renewables? Having, cars that could recharge themselves, moving away from, gas plants and exploring, solar plants and all of that. Can this be enough to meet the energy requirements across Africa? Even if we start now, are we too late or we are too early? And I believe the best time to start is now. My name is Femi Greater Heights, and I encourage you to start something now.